Investigative Bonus Time. Wait, I'm just learning the 100th episode of Bonus Time. Oh my God, it's our 100th episode, and me and Dave are here with some very special guests.
Happy Laser Time Centennial, guys!
Thank you for coming for a birthday.
I can't believe it's been 2 years. That makes it 2 years since the Patreon launched.
Wow, I guess it does.
Minus 4 weeks.
I was in line at the Department of Treasury just 2 years ago in that beautiful, beautiful building with, for some reason, broken aspects of the government in certain parts and like literal yoga classes in others because it's too big to house anything real that anybody needs,
and filled with people getting their wedding photos taken. But anyway,
and photography and Henry's here, but who else is here?
Hey, it's Bob Mackey.
So
wow,
Bob Slacky. I realized I was most excited to have you on because I've done a lot of podcasts with you at this point. Never have I done a show where we weren't rigidly attached to subject matter.
True,
like Retronauts or Talking Simpsons.
I'm an aggressively private man. No, actually, I've listened to every Bonus Time, so it's great that I'm on the 100th episode of Bonus Time.
It's like you and Tyler Wilde listen.
Yeah, I know everything about all you guys and what you do.
I just talked to Tyler, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm up on Bonus Time. I know what happened.
Yeah,
you don't have to tell me.
I don't need to hear about
which
your
he doesn't,
life.
but he doesn't listen to Laser Time. Like that's what's fucking weird.
Not to rigidly adhere to a structure, but do you have the death jingle for Adam West?
Oh man,
no. You want to start with that?
Why doesn't Batman live anymore?
Because I was compelled to write a little obit, which I don't do and wouldn't have done, but I had too many characters.
It was touching
for Instagram.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know if there was a limit.
I didn't either. It said it was a 2,000 character limit, and I typed it into Google Docs. I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to tap with my fingers. That's something. But it was only 500 words. But it was the only way I can describe it is Batman being the first thing I was really into. I passively watched everything on television in the 80s, but when I saw Batman, me and my buddy Steve were just like, this show's hilarious, but it's awesome, and we watched it all the time.
Yeah, Batman 66 was my first Batman, and because through the reruns that were all over TV in the 80s, but I saw it as a very real show of like, this is an adventure between two costume crusaders, and they are going to die. They barely escape death every time, even though then when you grow up, you're like, no, this is postmodern, like meta commentary on everything, and they're of course not going to die. They never die.
But because we were watching it in syndication in my town, 9TV, which I remember because they played 2 episodes of Batman and then 2 episodes of Ninja Turtles at one point. And they also, I was in the gifted program, give it up, people. And I took a cartooning class, and we got to make the interstitials for the network in the claymation
Child
class.
labor.
Wow.
But I just like, man, that's the capital of Florida, where we were like, kids were making the interstitials in school for the TV program, and it makes me feel like 1,000 years older because no one would ever like MTV won't allow professional animators to animate their interstitials. But I don't know.
What was your first?
I watched a ton of the 66 Batman. I want to say I enjoyed it. I really connected more with the animated series. That is my definitive Batman. But I mean, Adam West was on the animated series as an homage. The Grey Ghost. Yeah, Bruce was a fan of the Grey Ghost, and he comes and helps him solve a crime.
Yeah,
I mean the character, the guy, not the actor.
And the way I described it in my little obit, like, there was the Superman movie, which as soon as we got a VCR, I rented all the time. But I think I was obsessed with Superman before Batman, because I always consider Superman the first hero.
Yeah,
for me, not just the world, which he is. But I got obsessed with Batman. Everything I learned about Batman was from the animated series, and that was because of Adam West. And I just wrote in the thing, it wasn't camp, it wasn't retro. It was just a cool thing to watch every single day. It was just Batman as I knew him before I could read. And seeing Adam West pass, which I guess we all should have seen coming at some point. There's like one more Catwoman. Everybody else in that cast is dead.
Burt Ward is still alive, who is 10 years younger than Adam West.
I had no idea how old he was.
88.
88.
Good life. I mean, a slightly morbid game I like to play is when someone dies. What was their last tweet? And there was nothing ironic, but I was scrolling down and I was like, it was a nice look at Grandpa Batman. He's like, I made a pot roast. This is a great recipe. Like, I love you, Adam West. Yeah.
Yeah, by the sound of it, it was like a quick bout of leukemia. It's just like, look, you've got cancer.
We didn't hear about it. You seldom do.
What was really cool about my upbringing with Adam West, I'm unironically watching, Jesus, we said that on Laser Time a long time ago, hundreds of episodes of Batman that he did for 2 years in 1966 and 68. I'm seeing these 20 years later, and he doesn't get a lot of work. So he's available to appear in everything.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why he was in the boat show, Mr. Plow, or the car
show.
Yeah.
That was a joke about what he was doing. He was for like 2 years. He hosted the MST3K Turkey Day.
Yes, that's right.
So the situation with Adam West
every talk show.
Adam West suffered the same thing that happened to George Reeves and Christopher Reeves after him too, and Linda Carter. These people are so iconic in their roles as these superheroes that when they try to do anything else, people are just like, well, no, you're Batman. I'm watching Batman.
I don't have an image in my head of like Batman as Bruce Wayne or Adam West as Bruce Wayne.
Same here. I can't imagine that.
I mean, there's so many. I actually watched a ton of great clips people were sharing of him from it. And one of the best ones was a scene I completely forgot that was Bruce Wayne. The police commissioner calls Batman on the red phone, but they also call Bruce Wayne on his phone at the same time to be like, you need to talk to Batman to listen to and to find out these demands. And so the scene is Bruce. They're like, we can put the two phones together. No, wait, it was the Irish guy. Like, well, Batman, we can put the two phones together. And so they put the two phones together, and Bruce Wayne is talking to Batman, not changing their voices at all. And then the commissioner goes just like, they're dissimilar in so many ways, but also somewhat similar men. It was hilarious.
Next time. And
did Batman 66 invent the I have two dates at the same time gag?
No, but it was so fucking funny.
Yeah. It is still fun.
Yeah,
I bit the bullet, and like I've been looking at that box set for years, and it was $250, and I'm like, I'm not paying that shit for remastered Batman. But of course I go to Amazon, I'm like, shit, Adam West died and like 10 left. I'm like, of course there is. Buy $90, buy. So that was my big shitty stupid purchase of the month.
Now they're already worth something.
I watched Wonder Woman for the second time this weekend, and I really liked it. Still the one thing I hate is that fucking. I don't care that it was in Batman versus Superman, but that guitar riff when she's kicking ass, it's like doesn't feel right in the 1910s.
I still, if I didn't obsess over that in the other show, like they show that picture of Wonder Woman from World War I, and there's at least a useless 30 minutes to assemble that picture in the Wonder Woman movie. I'm like, why do they do that? If anybody would look at this and like cut this shit, because they had a tease and they have to assemble all those people there.
Happy about at the end, I think, and those three guys living is
if Steve Trevor is
maybe
not
no, you could be right about that.
But the one thing I was thinking about the movie was that wouldn't it be? I mean, the DC cinematic universe has had so many other problems, but if they had a Stan Lee that was just in every movie, that would be great. And I thought, well, there's nobody like that. And then after Adam West died, I'm like, he would have been great. Just during, from even in the 90s Batman movies, would have been a great thing.
Well, as a Batman fan, I got to tell you guys that DC hated that Batman 66 defined Batman in the 60s. It's this big lie that they made up of just 66 made up how campy Batman was. He wasn't yes, he was. If you read the comics of the 50s and 60s, Batman was that big of a goofball, if not 10 times goofier in some stories. So, but
I just
remember cast such a long shadow on it that's why Tim Burton's had to be so dark and shadowy, and they had to do constant interviews to be like, no, this isn't Adam West. This is farther thing from Adam West. We're not putting Adam West in this. Don't think about it.
That's what I remember growing up in the '89 phenomenon, because I wasn't heavily devouring Batman comics at that point, but I was really excited about the movie, and all the press was like, no, this has nothing to do with the '66 one. So much so, I think they didn't give Adam West a cameo on purpose to distance himself from that tone.
In fact, that joke comes up a lot on the Mystery Science Theater episode Zombie Nightmare. And I swear to God, yes, he's in it with Pre-Reigns World Tia Carrere. And I swear to God, on Twitter, it was the most people that will ever talk about Zombie Nightmare for the entire rest of the universe. And it is a great episode. I think it's number 604.
It's one of it's the 5th or 6th season.
It's 6th season, And there's a great sketch because they feel bad for Adam West.
Yeah.
There's a great sketch in the middle where they're writing him letters trying to cheer him up and saying what they liked him and I loved you and Lady Chatterley's Lover.
They make a joke about I'm sorry that show you're on just got canceled.
Oh, what was that?
It was some arts and history. It was some hosting gig.
Anything like a real Peter Graves role.
The only thing I know to point people to for Adam West is Look Well, which is
all right, let's talk about Look Well.
Because Conan O'Brien and Robert Smigel grew up naturally obsessed with Batman as it was airing,
as
the
all
same way I
did. Yeah,
it was awesome. It's on YouTube in full.
I watched it again this weekend.
Me too.
And it was just so beautiful. Lookwell was
very well.
Robert Smigel and Conan O'Brien with executive producer Lorne Michaels make one episode about really a crazy person who, an old man who's losing his mind who was on Mannix.
It is who Adam West plays on Family Guy. Yes. It's who he plays when he appears on Conan O'Brien.
And on Simpsons.
Was he still playing Mayor Adam West on Family Guy? Do they have episodes in the can for him, or what?
I don't know. But Seth MacFarlane had really nice words about him because his experience is the same. Like, he grew up loving this man, loved working with him. Every story you hear about working with the guy, he's fucking nice, knows exactly what you want to hear from Adam West.
Lookwell was the funniest thing. I watched it again. I was just laughing out loud at it, of just like of that he said, like, right now I'm Buzz McCool.
Buzz McCool.
And just the way some of his students will look at him like, what did you just say? Or when he's told, like, no, you're completely wrong, he's like, well, maybe if the police in their genius would have shared this information with me, I wouldn't have done that.
I love it. Get out of here. Very well.
I mentioned it before a lot on Laser Time, but the Gilbert Gottfried podcast, there's a great one with Adam West, and I feel like,
oh my god, I gotta listen to that.
Once you do that podcast, you're safe to die. It's just like, we need to extract all the stories from you, and then you're safe to go.
Put the specter of death on you.
I mean, they joke about that all the time on Gilbert Gottfried, of just like, who did we get before they died? Who died this year that was our guest? And then they say, like, we wanted to get this person and they're dead now. And it's
I mean, Gilbert Gottfried is sort of the newer, less horny, less self-obsessed Howard Stern, where he's like, I'm going to ask this 90-year-old man about his dick and who he fucks and things like that. It's so great.
That show is incredible because he and his partner are like clearly as obsessed with their era of television as we were with ours.
You never knew Gilbert Gottfried was a huge nerd.
I didn't either. I was young. The first movie I can remember loving was Problem Child, and he's just fucking in it. And but he was obsessed with things airing on television at that point.
But so Adam West, you talk about meeting Adam West. I did get to meet Adam West.
I told you, it was the only time I've ever been jealous of you for meeting anybody. I don't give a fuck about anybody any of you have ever met, but I'm really upset now that I didn't go out of my way to meet Adam West.
So this was October of last year, and this was... I know people have told me, like, look, celebrities die every year. But no, last year was the year of, like, celebrities all dying. And it did make me realize, like, celebrities are going to die sometime. And so I was much more ready to meet, like, at my old job. I was getting way more opportunities to interview people. And I was taking them, too, because of interviewing, like, non-video game people. And I was taking them just because I was like, well, I'll be sad if, like, Rob Paulson dies next year and I didn't get to talk to him, or I'll be sad if person X, Y, or Z dies. And the biggest one was Adam West was on the list, and I'm so glad I told our shitty boss, like, you don't get to interview Adam West. I'm interviewing Adam West. I don't care what you say. And so it was because they did just last year, the Batman 66 cartoon animated version of it that had Burt Ward, Adam West, and Julie Newmar in it, playing their characters again. So I got to interview Adam West, and he was very old, standing in front of me. I was like, oh, you are definitely old, but I was just like, I don't care. You are the nicest. I shook his hand and I was like, thank you, Mr. West. This is a childhood dream come true. And then I asked him questions like about the show, and just I wanted to make it very clear to him, like, how big of an honor this was to talk to him. And so that was, I will always be happy I got to interview him. I didn't even mention Lookwell. I bet he would have been twice. But I was like, he doesn't want to hear another dweeb talk about Lookwell. I think he does. He loves... That was the thing. He seemed to love every compliment and loved, like, basking in the happiness of, like, oh, all you dorks. Like, the Simpsons writers joke about it, that the most excited any writers were for a guest on the show was Adam West. They're like, we're all taking a picture with Adam West. We're doing it.
I guess I never realized how old he was because looking up, when he was born, I was like, wow, he was almost 40 playing Batman. He was a 38-year-old man.
He was an old Batman. So, like, he just naturally segued into, like, his later roles.
I like that he and William Shatner are kind of cut from the same cloth. They were these properly trained, fancy actors who, by their 40s, realized, I'm not going to star in movies. I'm not Kirk Douglas. So they then go to TV and they take lesser roles in children's shows or in sci-fi things, and then they become more famous than they ever would have.
And they both have their own very unique delivery, which everyone can imitate.
They're both perfect.
And I asked a bunch of people on our website, in our Facebook group, the Laser Time Facebook community, it's just if you had any Adam West stories to share, Yeah, I love how many people, despite our age difference, had the same experience. Like you just saw, like if you didn't have cable or you had a television that received over-the-air airwaves and you lived in one of those areas with like 4 independent networks in the 80s, early 90s, you saw the show a lot. Even Matt J said I'd first learned who he was through Johnny Bravo. His episodes were my favorite as a kid, and they were written by Seth MacFarlane.
Oh man, it's all making sense.
Yeah, then I discovered the Batman 66 in reruns, and it always upset me, even as a kid, when people would make fun of or write off the show as if it were made on by accident. Nothing that comedically brilliant just happens, especially with that consistency. They were making one of the most hilarious and subversive shows on TV, and they did it on purpose. The Batman 66 is a masterpiece, and it's one of those things that is just so perfectly of its time. Like they are reveling in the 60s. Everybody's surfing and doo-wopping and dancing.
It could not be more 60s.
Acid references.
Yeah.
And I had some stories in the Facebook group. Charles Morgan said in 2002, Adam West was a guest star at the Chiller Theater Expo. We had gotten there fairly early that day, and there was no line, so my girlfriend headed over his table. I hung back for a bit in case the line started. Ever the charmer, he spent the next 10 minutes flirting with her as he signed the picture. When it was done, he gave her a hug, and she bounded back toward me, clutching his autograph. She looked directly at me and smiled and exclaimed, "That was amazing. He was so drunk." It was true. You could smell it wafting off him everywhere, and I was standing 10 feet away. I love that man. And I couldn't believe this. One of the other stories, I hope this, it was like so beautiful. I hope it's I hope it's untrue, because our buddy Daniel Treesh, who has pretty much started the Laser Time Facebook community. He says, when I was 10 years old, I was excited to go to a car show because Adam West and Burt Ward were signing autographs. I walked up to the table and asked the security guy when they were coming back, and he told us we missed them. I started crying, and we walked away. Some lady came up to us while we were looking at some old cars, and she said, "Come with me," to my grandparents and me. She brought us to the back where Adam West and Burt Ward were sitting down and eating pizza. He stood up and walked to me and whispered in my ear, "We had to leave because the Joker was trying to steal money from a bank nearby. Don't tell anyone."
That's so great.
He invited me to have some pizza with him and Bert. I was the happiest 10-year-old.
That's an amazing story.
That is the happy ending to the Mr. T story.
That's, it's stuff like that. I just think about celebrities who are like famously dicks when you meet them, or like this person's really grumpy. You then think about something like that's like he could have just said, "I'm on my lunch, get that kid away from me." He was like, "No, I'm going to give this kid a great memory."
Or how you feel like William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy might have been at some point when I want to be more than just Star Trek. But Adam West spent most of his life being famous for being him. So I think he just started to bask in like, people just get happy around me. Why not? Steer into this kid.
There was another thing I never knew he did until he passed away. When people were sharing stuff, was like, how did the producers know Adam West was perfect for the role? These Nestle Quick commercials, and then it's these James Bond type commercials where he's Captain Quick, and like a Russian spy is like, "We will get you next time, Captain Quick," and he's just doing the Batman delivery while like dodging death traps with no problem. Chocolatey. It's great though. I gotta say, as a commercial pitchman trying to sell Nestle Quick in a black and white commercial, like it's just like, see, you stir it in milk. It's like it's still gray.
A glass of gray.
It's like milk, but dirty. And as a good companion piece to Adam West, and I don't know what took me so long to check it out, I fell into the kind of a rabbit hole of Hulu documentaries. If you weren't aware of this, so I also watched Dumb, the story of Big Brother magazine, which is like the beginning of Jackass, essentially. The eventual Larry Flint publication that spawned all the Jackass guys. And the Dick House empires. That's what they're called, right? And there's also Becoming Bond one, all about George Lazenby, who, in my opinion, has the most fascinating story, being the Bond once and then fired when Sean Connery came back and never talked to again. So the whole world knows his name, but nobody. But at the time, you're the Bond we don't like. And I haven't watched that yet. But what I did finally watch was Batman and Bill.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
That is, Henry, you need to see that. It is one of the best documentaries I've seen in a long time, because you know the story already.
I do know the story,
and it is not about that. It is not about the idea that Bob Kane was a I don't know. You feel a little sympathy for him because I believe he saw what happened to the Superman creators, and he made sure that didn't happen to him with Batman, a character he wanted to create. His character had a little burglar mask, a red suit, a cape attached to his wrists,
Yes.
And a man named Bill Finger came in, kind of unbeknownst to DC, and was like, no, he shouldn't look like this. Here's his origin story. Here's what he should look like. Here's who his villains are. And Bill Finger created everything.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful story. That's the facts. But the story is this guy trying to track down who Bill Finger is before the internet. There are 2 pictures of him, one swinging a golf club and one mowing the lawn, and that's all we know. Who are his family? Because he essentially finds out there's like they have a recording of it, of Bill Finger's one and only Comic-Con appearance where he talks about what happened. And the thing that will never redeem Bob Kane is he issues a statement that's a lie, it's not true, and publicly throws Bill under the fucking bus.
Wow.
I know we talked about this some on the Strike episode.
Yeah, we did talk about it.
And to Bob Kane's credit, he's being interviewed for his autobiography, which he also didn't write.
Bob Kane died a while ago too.
He died, but that's what sucks. He died
lived a lot longer than Finger.
died. We just talked about it. We're going to talk about it on 30-20-10. He got to see Batman and Robin being made.
Yes.
Bill Finger never got to see that. Like his friend, he got the only time he was credited for writing Batman. This I didn't know was a bone they threw him for the '66 series.
Oh.
And so he asked the guy he co-wrote it with. He's like, can you put my name first, just for once?
Wow.
I want to be credited. That was his only request. And he had a little black and white television. He's like, no, you need to see what the show looks like in color. And he's just like, he's sitting next to Bill Finger, and the guy tells the story of like watching Batman for the first time, the character he's created and never had any credits for, in color for the first time, and it's just like, holy shit!
Wow, that sounds beautiful.
I gotta watch this.
The
now.
cooler part of the story is this: it all takes place. I forget the man's name. It's all centered around this dude who did all this research and went out of his way to track down everything he could about Bill Finger and like try and pinpoint for a fact. And it looks like in the '80s, DC acknowledged that yes, we know this is Bill Finger now, like because
for the longest time they played dumb too because of the deal they made with Bob Kane.
Because they talk, but they also it's great. They start out talking about the comic factory. Like we asked Bob Kane to come back with a Batman character. We don't give a shit how he did it. And he brought it to us, and we didn't ask any questions. And so they did acknowledge that. It's but like a top line credit goes against the contract that Bob Kane made in 1939. And this is a money issue. And the guy doing all the work is like, well, I have no claim to Bill's legacy. I have to find a memory of him, and you find that's the most depressing part of it. He died. Bill Finger died alone, buried in a pauper, unmarked grave with the number like 104 in a cemetery with no one. The fucking creator of Batman, and he's like, and he has no next of kin. And he has no wives, and no one was there. He just died.
I mean,
he died really quickly when he didn't deliver a comic story that he was still writing as Bob Kane is showing up to premieres and fucking cowls and posing for photographs. He died penniless, alone. It is really tragic. So what he ends up, so the story of the documentary is not about how much Bill Finger got fucked. It's about how this guy wait, maybe Bill Finger did have a child. And when if I can find his child, they have claim to his copyright and legacy. And if I can find this, then we have a case against Warner Brothers, which all ends, which, spoiler if you saw Batman versus Superman, Bill Finger is credited for the first time on screen in Batman and Superman, because it ends with a good story. It's about tracking down his next of kin and just a life before the internet. There's a part in the documentary he was like, you should try MySpace. And he's like, so I was doing all this internet research without consulting any of the social networks, and I instantly am like, wow, I know how hard that must have been. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can only imagine.
All right,
it's like we are what we leave behind, which is why all of us childless losers have to keep making podcasts, because before I die I want Talking Simpsons in the Library of Congress.
It's true.
So Bob Mackey was a man and he lived once.
It's true. And when I die, I want you all to do one thing: drop your earbuds in the toilet. Put a picture on Twitter. That's
Come on, Chris. It'll be like 2021. There won't be earbuds anymore.
Earbuds. That's what I'm saying. You should be happy and easy.
Well, let's talk about some other stuff then. I think I want to talk about that Bob and me have been really enjoying doing these E3 things with you guys.
We have been.
We've been streaming them.
You have an excess of time? What's wrong? Why aren't you at E3?
We left our jobs.
Yes, we quit our jobs, and we're telling you listeners here first on Patreon. But yeah, Bob and I were pretty sick of the place we worked at. I won't say the name. We've said the name enough times on podcasts. You probably know.
You can figure it out.
Yeah.
They won't be around for much longer. But
well, again, talking to you guys about that job, which paid decently, allowed you to do a lot of the things you used to like to do, but came with a certain brand of ennui and misery. That's something I don't miss.
Even,
yes, it really was, and I feel like as someone who makes content, I am my brand. As crappy as it sounds, I am my brand. I am what I can put out to people, and I feel like we were kind of just both being smothered in a way. We're not being allowed to create what we wanted to. We couldn't get a podcast off the ground and things like that. Like it was really hard to do.
We tried to make a podcast, and it was just constantly micromanagers doubting us and I just wanted to shout at them.
How about instead of we do anything, we do nothing.
That's
unless
pretty much,
I come up with the plan.
That was the motto.
My plan.
I was just like, dude, none of you have made a podcast before. None of you have covered E3 before. None of you have done any of this before. We have, so maybe listen to us. But they were just like, it definitely felt like writers are not respected in this world.
I had a conversation with somebody aware of.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
what he said, and it's something I agree with, and that I've experienced, is that everybody. Why would a big company expect? They demand an immediate overnight success for everything, rather than you have the money to lose and expect to lose it. Try anything, and then refine it, and then keep doing it.
See what works. Instead of being
when I'm talking
afraid.
to you guys bought equipment. Your company bought equipment I could only dream of. But like, nobody wants to put their neck out and make a plan, and no one wants to stick their neck out and try anything because they might fail. I'm like, you're supposed to fail. That's what the money's for.
Yes, it's a safety cushion, and I feel like they were working under an older ethos, an older web ethos, where it's like, you the lowly creator, we give you the privilege of working here, and you create things for us. But it's really like the tables have turned, and the creators are like, no, we know our own value, and we know how we can sell ourselves and stuff like that. So it's like, we don't need to prove to you what's good. We know what we can make, and
I can't just nod along with platitudes anymore about just like, this is what a website is. Like, you don't fucking know. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm really tired of hearing that from you guys.
What's the last website you read? And don't say the Apple News feed.
I won't say what website they were at, but when you heard it, they've said like, oh, this big name place, and you're just like, that place has been in the shitter for a decade. Like, no, nothing related to games. But well, if I were to say what the anonymous people on Glassdoor said about that website, and who knows who wrote those, I am just a reporter reporting what was on Glassdoor written anonymously.
I find it tragic because there's a shitload of potential in a place like that. But to expect miracles overnight,
it's that they invest. This is what I read on Glassdoor. It's that they invest too much in a savior to save them overnight, and then give no money to that savior. And then on top of that, when they could hire people to make things, they hire people to boss around the few people they have to make.
And I hear these are stresses I'm avoiding by not. I hate that. I hate politics overdoing shit. And I hear from people with regular jobs, it's like, you've been doing great, know all this whole system in and out. However, we could promote you, or we could hire someone who looks like a miracle, who has worked at a successful company, to come in here and who can't really do anything, but you hope has a secret, an algorithm, a thing that's cheap that turns everything in the black overnight, and that doesn't happen.
Well, it's kind of, it's honestly kind of like weight loss or dieting, of just like, everybody wants this secret plan, like this is a secret way to lose weight, when it's like, it is putting in work and having better willpower. It's not eat this thing all this week or to have this magic trick. And that's the same really with website content. It means grinding away at something and building a brand. It doesn't mean hiring one person who overnight will fix things.
Yeah.
But then also just be like, nah, we're not spending money on that. Why would we do that? And we were just surrounded by people who, there were some really nice people there. This is not, I liked a lot of people I worked with.
I liked a ton of people I worked with.
But there were other people there who just were like,
I'm an idea man.
Why should I make something?
By the way, I got hired at Games Radar with explicitly said you're an idea man, because I gave them like 80 pitches. I had to execute every one of those ideas, which is something most idea men don't do.
Yeah, no, it drives me crazy to meet all these idea men who are just like, well, now you execute it, or just saying like, I came up with 5 ideas for an article.
Why can't you, man?
And just like, I can come up with ideas all day, person whose name I won't say here. I come up with ideas all day. It is sitting down to write it, which you seem to think is so easy. That is the hard part. But anyway.
I mean, I want to talk about one more thing. Like, when we quit, we did it the proper professional way. For as unprofessional as we were treated, we were like, we'll at least give this to you. And nothing feels better than to quit out of just, I guess, indignation combination where it's like I've given you enough chances. We voiced our problems to the company
a lot.
We've had
multiple meetings with you to say what our problems were. So Bob and I are just putting in our 2 weeks.
In a world where workers have no rights and you can just be fired for no reason at any time, it's fun to be like, this is the one thing I have over you, and I'm taking it away. You don't get me anymore, and they are kind of shocked to hear that. Like, oh my god, I guess you can do that. I can't put you in.
It seemed to be this thought of just like, well, you wouldn't quit.
Yeah.
And honestly, to quit with no new job is a foolish thing to do.
Yeah, I'm stupid, but I've quit 3 different jobs with nothing else lined up just because I'm like, I value my happiness and I can make shit work if I need to,
Well, and we do have Bob and I have lots of opportunities out there, and that includes also freelance and stuff, but maybe things you'll also hear about here. But I just was like, I could. If I wanted within 6 months, I feel pretty safe that I could get another garbage job that would make me unhappy, and it would at least be a new feeling at this job instead of this one that I've been at a year and I'm full of. And it was also that E3 was coming up, and I was like legit not being listened to over and over when trying to make an E3 plan, and also told like, oh, you should make this E3 plan. I was like, okay, here's a very involved. You saw it, Bob. I made a very involved content plan, and I was told like, think outside the box. Do you have more than that? No, just think outside the box, and then
how do you think outside the box at E3?
Well, and then
exactly,
everyone gets the same opportunities to do the same things there.
Yeah, if all we would have had is less opportunities.
Yeah.
But if you
trust me, we did that at GR, and my parody article on the top 10 E3 toilets of E3 did well. But why would a company hoping for adverts fly a bunch of people out to do those kinds of articles?
But they also don't want that either. If I had pitched to them the awesome stuff that like Waypoint and Giant Bomb would do there, they'd be like, well, that's too weird. That's too dorky. There's definitely an anti-nerd feeling there too, which I was just like, the most popular shit on this website is games and anime, and you run from it at every
Walking Dead, for fuck's sake.
Yes, it's all comic book shit, and they just would run from it at every turn, and it made no goddamn sense.
Yeah, it was a bunch of executives who wanted to work somewhere cooler, but they're like, I guess I got to deal with this fucking nerd shit. All right, make it popular. I don't give a shit.
And it was also it was something that happened to me at Games Radar that made me supremely unhappy that I think also exacerbated me leaving, which was at Games Radar I found out I was not going to get a promotion. And I just kind of stuck around and became more and more miserable, and visibly so, and visibly more cantankerous to my coworkers. And so this time I was like, I'm not going to stick around and wait for them to hire me another boss, which they were doing. I was like, no. But I wanted Bob. Honestly, Bob and me should have just been the co-runners of the team, and then they hire 3 associate editors we fucking train.
And it is a weird catch-22 in these corporate hierarchies where it's like we've been in the game for about 10 years now. Full-time content creators for video games. But writing is very much a plateau. Like, I'm a senior editor, it means nothing. I'm a junior editor, it means nothing. You just make shit. And I think the catch-22 is like, we'll trust you if you're a manager. But why would we ever promote you? We'll just hire a manager.
If you're good at writing and content, it doesn't mean a thing because it's not a magic formula.
Yeah.
Well, that was it's the hell I've been in at like every job of like plateauing mediocrity and not moving higher. And like that's what happened to me at my first job at a movie theater. I was like, I'm going to work real hard and do good at the concession stand, and then they'll make me a box office person, which
president
is so much
of popcorn.
No, I was like, you want to work in the box office to be away from popcorn.
Yeah.
But I did so good at concessions. They're like, all right, we're going to make you an assistant manager in concessions. I was like, no, I'll never be free.
I had the similar situation, yet the opposite at my other job, and that was the last job I had. Probably don't need to say it, because I don't want to throw them under the bus. A bunch of fine people worked there, but the company was in a bit of a slump due to things that no American was ever going to be able to control.
Yes.
And that was going to continue happening. And there was this, I remember, like, I thought I expressed to someone, I can't quit. I want to be laid off to go collect unemployment, get a severance package, and start the Laser Time thing. And I really thought that would happen.
Yeah.
And when it didn't, I got even madder. And it was like another 11 months. Of like, when are you like? I'm not doing anything. I literally, because of the nature of the contract, can refuse to do what you're asking me to. Like,
I think our lives could have turned into that. And I was
it's one of the most miserable I've ever been. When you're commuting hours to go into something you hate every single day, and the thing I came up against is that I had to talk about, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, that's an excellent question. Thank you. Looking at every aspect of the company, none of this. I don't want to market. I don't want to be on the phone with customer service. I don't want to be in PR. There's nothing you can provide me in this company that I want to do. And it sucked to have to sit there every single day. And I think you had expressed this. I like writing and making shit. Everybody's like, this is an awesome thing that you made. That's an awesome thing that you made. That's great. And then fewer people engage and see that than on the website I can't write for right now because I just can't figure out the revenue models because that's not my thing. That was so...
Yeah, I mean, it was extra frustrating for me. This is all therapy now, by the way. It was extra frustrating for me because it's like, I don't think I'm a big shot, but I feel like I've proven myself and I have an audience. So I would come to people in charge of like, I do Retronauts. Here's what I do. Here's how much money I make. Here's how I know how to grow an audience and talk to people and talking to a microphone. But I still never got the trust I felt I deserved. And at some point, one of the leaders would be like, think about what Greg Miller would do. And I was like, if I was Greg Miller, I wouldn't be working here. I'd be working for myself and making like tens of thousands a month because that's Greg Miller. He has that talent. He doesn't need to work for anyone.
That was a ton of... I didn't get a lot of pushback like that at that job, but it was all about like putting a lot of behind-the-scenes game people on camera and like, this person can't do that.
Yeah.
Like if I should, whatever.
Not everybody's meant to be in front
I'm gonna
of
have to bend over backwards to make this person look great. No one's gonna see it, and I'm gonna go home, and this thing is gonna be viewed by 10 times the amount of people, and you're not gonna give a shit.
No, and that was how Bob and I were feeling too. Of just like we put all this work. We would put all that. We'd go into work miserable, and we'd write a thing all day. No one would read it, and I do mean no one. Everybody's like, "This got 2,000 views." Like that was fucking celebration. Like if our top article at Games Radar got 5,000 views, we would be like, "Shut this shit down!" Like this is over. But
there was blood in the hallways.
So we would do all that. And then Bob and I would do Talking Simpsons, and each podcast of those would outdo the traffic of everything on this thing that's supported by $100 million of garbage. And it's just like every person is useless around me. It drove me crazy. Not every person. If anybody's listening to this, there are people I like.
I love plenty of people there, but just looking at the sheer corporate waste and what could have been done with it was insanely depressing, and just the complete lack of vision and lack of trust in people that knew what they were doing, and not just us, Henry. I mean, lots of people there, they were being squandered because it was like, oh, dude, whatever, I don't care.
And like,
there were tons of people there who knew they could get away with like, I don't got to try. I mean, we could have done that. We could have just coasted.
And
I kind of did for about 2 weeks.
It seems like the thing that you guys could have like, oh, well, this we know will immediately get more than what is being averaged here, which is a podcast.
Yes.
Like,
it was a compliment you paid me on accident when you still worked there. That like we Laser Time ranks on Alexa, and your site didn't.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. I mean, Retronauts, like everything I've been a part of, ranks higher than where I used to work. So
it's what happens when you hire fossils from 2003 to make a website in 2016.
I was part of a team that did something once.
And you find out that these people, like, they're just their resume, and then they can just go to some other place and fuck that place up, and nobody even cares.
Yes.
And it in general, it actually made me... I feel like I am 100% a democratic socialist now because I just hate capitalism so much after this. Like, this was the most wasteful, useless company I have ever been a part of. With like you, me, we all worked at Future except for Bob. That place honestly was fine compared to the other place we just came from, and it also was seeing these idiots just waste money at every turn, but not on anything that mattered.
Yeah,
I don't know how much you want to tell me if you want me to cut this out. You would bring home excess expensive juices, but then they also asked you guys to work weekends because they wouldn't pay for more editors.
Yes.
Yeah, it was telling them, like, being told, we can't miss breaking news on the weekends, so in a cycle, once every 4 or 5 weekends, you'll just need to work it and watch the news. So basically, just work. Oh, and not get extra days off. Like, don't get like the next Monday off or something.
So just lose your weekends.
Lose a weekend a month.
But we want to maintain this corporate culture of like free fucking
never leave the office
every week,
and telling him how it would be like $26,000 a year to just hire a weekend editor, and that was treated as like
less than your naked juice budget.
That was treated as an impossible amount of money.
Yeah, like Henry, it made me even to more of a screaming Marxist, where it's just like, I already knew this beforehand, but it's like, no, the meritocracy is dead. People at the top cannot get punished because that would set a precedent. What if another important person got punished? It's like, we could have fired him, but let's let him find a new new job for 5 months and just fuck the company even more, and then be like, oh, he's going to go somewhere else now.
I mean, we laid off 200 people, but we can't lay off the guy who caused those 200 people to not be affordable. That wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
Just these. I almost used the C word there in all earnestness. But
just a bunch of rich people looking out for each other and no one else.
That was always the worst part. Like, I've been at both GamePro and Future had layoffs, and it was always like that first post layoff meeting where it's like, guys, we need that big idea. Really, you just got rid of like half the idea people.
Yeah,
I would have asked for ideas from everybody and then laid them off and just see.
The people who are great at pinging me on Outlook are all still here, but no one who can come up with ideas is.
No, the person who's giving me orders, they're still around.
Actually, Dave, it's funny because after we had a massive layoff that no one reported on because no one cares about our company, but we had a meeting after that, and this douchebag in charge was asking a bunch of questions.
The biggest douche I've ever worked with.
He sucks, and I hate him. And he was like asking questions as if he cared. He's just like, I'm going to pretend to acknowledge all you plebes.
It's like, so what do you want to know?
Yeah, and I was like, you fired our boss, and we're down a content creator, and we basically have no one. What are we going to do? It's
if we're supposed to be investing in content, are we going to replace it?
And he was like, I could hire people. I could spend a bunch of money hiring people. That's an option, I guess. You fucking idiot.
Very Homer. We could do that in theory.
He said,
in theory.
There, I had an idea. Let's move on.
Well, he also really shittily said, like, maybe I'd hire some people with bigger resume than you guys.
Yeah,
He implied that.
Don't ask me questions. I was just kidding when I said I'm open to questions.
I also asked him, like, what are we going to measure this success by then? And he's like, money. I was like, that was it. There's a pregnant pause after that. I was like, okay.
He was the guy from the Futurama episode who had bonitis, basically.
And again, this is a useless fucker who tanked the company he was at before he went to this one, and then came to it with the same strategy, and no one questioned it because he is a dick. Then that's just it. They're like, well, if he's this much of a dick,
he seems
must
very
know
confident.
What he's doing. Like, exactly. It's this fucking and it's all dudes. But oh, by the way, are you shocked that it's all white guys who all went to the same fucking frat, who wear their fucking frat insignia on their fucking socks?
Well, this guy looks like the enemy of Chug-a-Lug House in like whatever boob comedy that he would be in. Yeah, I mean, this is going long, but I wanted to bring up the music, Henry, because
and the music.
A Simpsons joke literally happened in real life in our office, where it was like, when Marge is like, everyone at the plant is depressed. What would cheer them up? Oh, pipe in some Tom Jones music. That'll cheer people up. And you see the shot of all the people still being depressed and drinking and about to kill each other.
Bob in a moose hat.
That was their solution. Like, this office isn't fun enough. How would you like a speaker over your desk all day while you're trying to write playing music you can't control?
Let's crank up the Kesha, baby.
And I'm going to write a pissy email because I see people wearing headphones.
Yeah.
What? Oh my
God.
Yeah,
okay, so they play the music, and the first song in it is perfect because it is Californication. Like the perfect first song to like torture you.
Oh my God.
And so then at first, for the first week or so, they let us pick our own music and all put it into a playlist they would randomly take from. But then people were clearly, including me, were trolling it. I put
I didn't know
Suicide
one
is Painless
person
in there.
I didn't know one person who liked the idea.
Nobody
Everyone
liked
hated it.
Nobody wanted it.
We vote for The Boys Are Back in Town 50 times in a row.
And there was also like some super dirty rap that played over the radio.
Super dirty rap
in the office. And so a week or two into it, we get a incredibly snippy email from the owner of the company saying, or a CEO at the company
I
saying,
called him Clown Hair Von Tracksuit.
Yes, that is very clear. That's very accurate. But saying like, some people are trying to change the music, and that's not what the point of this is. And also, some people have been turning it down way too low when it really shouldn't be. It needs to be this volume, and I'm not going to let you guys do this. So only this person controls the volume, and only this person controls the songs. And if you want to put in noise-canceling headphones, fine, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
Just reminded me of an angry red dad in the front seat, like, we are having fun on this vacation. We are having fun right now.
And that he's so fucking blind that he doesn't get, like, the whole thing was to try to improve morale, and that he doesn't get that what he's doing is the complete opposite of improving morale. But that
he sounds like the gunman on the back of the bus in a Dirty Harry movie. Sing, damn you! Sing!
I mean,
row your boat!
I bet there are corporations that are good corporations with good bosses who support you, but this made me lose all faith.
Oh, me too.
It sounded like they didn't understand the field that they wanted to get into and wanted a miracle cure, and they thought they could why would you be the ones who come up with it?
Because they told us to. That's why.
It's like, this shit is easy, and you're stupid if you can't figure it out. So figure it out.
As a guy who really likes making stuff, my only frustrations in this job come out of. I want to say how much of blessing the Patreon was, and this is not a call for more Patreon money to bring on Bob and Henry. That's not what this is.
No,
it's more that that people can tell me exactly what they want. And I used to lose my mind because I was trying to make money without Patreon. I'd work my ass off and make this video. I'm like, really? You guys couldn't come to the bat and watch this video? And because I do still judge us on success, and the only time I get frustrated now is that we do a lot with Laser Time, and that if I don't have time to execute an idea, that's where my frustration comes from. And I didn't realize how calming that was compared to you guys going through this.
Yeah,
that all my frustration is me.
It's different frustrations when you can blame yourself or you can blame other people. And
it can be a different
manager
side of depressing, but it's not hopelessness, because I can always when shit clears up a little bit, I can remaster that fart video. And I will. And I'm working on that piece by piece, people.
But meanwhile, if you're told by your boss to never do something and to just have a thing killed, you're just like, well, I can never do that.
And that's very strange, not being able to trust your own instincts and go forward the way you think it will make something successful. And that's where I was before this. And
so when we quit, we got to say to our boss, we have 10 years of experience. You didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I told you 6 months ago that you needed to hire more people, and you didn't, except for managers. And all this stuff is just frustrating. We don't need it. And being told we were being unprofessional when this was the most unprofessional company I've ever worked for, ever. So yeah, fuck them. But Bob and I, we have plans.
We have big plans.
Big plans.
Space plans.
Crazy plans,
exactly. And so you're gonna you'll see some stuff on Friday. I will say it is Laser Time adjacent. It is not Laser Time. We are not joining this Patreon full time exactly. You'll see. You guys will see.
I'd say not at all.
And honestly, you could probably guess, but don't.
Yeah.
Please don't.
But keep this under your
not
hat.
on Twitter or anything.
Yes.
Yeah, keep this under your hat for now. But I guess, but Friday, just keep an eye out for Friday.
Yes.
Friday.
We've been unemployed for about a month, so
secretly
keeping
unemployed.
it a secret.
Could you tell? Could you tell with my noon tweets from my house about? It was very weird that my shelf exploded the first weekend I was unemployed.
Get out.
It was. It's I guess this is my home office again. Crash.
If anyone read that site, they'd know we were gone, and no one did.
Oh yes, no one would ever notice. They're they're not on videos anymore. Nobody watched them.
That's my last question. Was there a reason? no comments?
They just didn't want to build it, or it was. This was one of 8,000 things that happened there for the same reason of just we'll make something better. We don't want to do. Well, why do what everybody else is doing?
I can't see your traffic, and I always curious. This is good. How did this do? What's the feedback? Oh, there's none. There's no way to tell.
I mean, in a way, when I started there, I was I don't need comments, but it was really deflating. I have no clue. I can read the traffic, but I have no clue who reacted.
You're kind of in a vacuum, yeah.
And it was just And it was again we'll build comments later. We can do that later. What about our video plan? We'll build it later. Do we have a studio? Later. Should we get a different platform for this? Yeah, we'll build it later. We'll build it ourselves. It's just over and over. And tomorrow never came, and it always felt even the good people.
That happens to me.
There were big Wikipedia or the entire platform is built on comments and editing and stuff like that. You can't put comments in
literally fan feedback.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there were big plans supposedly, but we were not invited into any discussions, including about shows they were putting us in that we were going to write, produce, and direct.
Yeah, so I certainly couldn't say what their plans are because we weren't invited. But,
yes, it's we got lots of plans for you guys. Plans you won't hear about.
So, hey, good luck with those plans, folks.
Yeah, you know where to put them.
Yeah.
My God. All right.
Should we move on to the question?
We got to move on to the question of the week. I will say that you guys, you guys will be joining us for a couple more things.
Yeah, I'll be on some Monday Night Movies and more Laser Times in general.
Yeah, hopefully. But again, stay tuned for Friday and
but
also
huge
Video Game Apocalypse because we were looking at this is all E3 this week. We've been streaming it. Henry's been here for everything we've streamed.
And Bob was here for the Ubisoft one.
That was fun. I didn't ever do one of those for Laser Time, and I enjoyed it.
It's the most fun and only necessary way to cover E3.
I'm sure I would have written an article that 30 people would have read about it.
If you do the best job you can as someone reporting on E3 on the floor, all you can do is dash someone's hopes about a game.
Yeah.
And that's all you can do.
Honestly, I barely miss going to E3. Like, the one thing I miss is, like, usually one night
out
of the,
after like 5:30. That's what I miss.
And that's like one night maybe I'll get during the entire E3. Like I can break away to go to one of those things.
There are so many parties I didn't go to because I was like, well, I got to finish this article. The website needs me.
And it was like the one thing about Bethesda was like, oh wow, they built the party into the thing. Like you get there, and they just plied you with drinks, and then they did a 30-minute press conference.
Yeah,
but that's nice.
And typically the best press conference. We'll talk more about that on VGA.
I mean, I am sad I didn't go to. I'm sad I'm not getting to play Mario Odyssey. That's the big one for me.
It was more bizarre that like I was on this chain with a bunch of friends. Like, who's doing what here? And like,
wow, they were at E3.
Well, no, actually, most of them are at E3. It's just that none of them are in editorial anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a blessing and a curse. When in publishing, like 5:30, Fred Flintstone horn, I slide down that dinosaur tail and I do not look back. It's done.
What a blessed life.
It's done, but it also is like, I don't get invited to parties. No one's there to curry my favor except weird fucking vendors.
Your first year out, like at Capcom, we had to like bite and scratch to get you into the future party, which was like,
wasn't that fucking nuts?
That was insane.
Like everybody I talked to today, including your CFO, like just said, "Hey, come by the party." I'm like, I'm here. Why are you gonna be a dick about it? Like I didn't want to come here. You invited me.
I mean, I was like fine. Like when I got laid off from Future, I'm like, I expected it because it's print. It was going to happen eventually. But I always thought like, why did you throw this fucking lavish party with well-known musicians? This isn't going to get anyone to buy an ad on your site or in your magazine. It's just dick waving.
There's a part of that yes, that is a part of it. And one day, if we ever get enough money, I've always wanted to throw like a big party for everybody we know in town.
That's different. Like that's us interacting with our community. This was like we weren't inviting any fans of like Games Radar or OXM. It was for hobnobbing.
Yeah. Actually, our company canceled a Christmas party, and I do want to tell you what our company Christmas present was. It was a coupon for a free Cafe Press T-shirt of our choosing.
Oh, nice.
Like literally of your choosing.
Of my choosing, yes.
Very explicitly of your choosing.
That is the end of Christmas vacation.
You should have gotten like that email printed on a shirt.
I would have used Jelly of the Month, Dave. I don't want a Cafe Press T-shirt.
No, I threw that in the trash.
I just deleted it. Like, how dare you?
You're gonna give me $20 in Amazon cash at least.
Yeah, but it's E3, and I'm not immune to getting caught up in promotional. Momentum, and we asked people what their favorite trailers were of
cool.
anything. I think I was specific to movie trailers.
But
if I GTA 5, like in a pre-YouTube world that we're all crowding around as the like websites everywhere go down, and where can we see this trailer?
Like that song.
I don't want to keep talking about our old place, but it was also. It was a crazy thought to be like a traditional website in 2017. Let's do it. Like that's not what anybody's doing. All of your competitors are shrinking or dead. Why are you starting this? Like, and it's because
it's weird to start it to be the biggest. Like if you were starting it, it's like that. But we do this. It's like IGN, but with farts. That makes sense. That's something I'll invest in. If you're like, we just want to be the next big thing, like that's a little more difficult to go on. What do you cover? Everything.
Everything.
How the greatest
with 4 people.
With 4 people,
and everybody else will just write for free. It can't fail,
and you'll get great work for free.
All right, but people's trailers. I don't want to
your favorite trailers. If you can think of your old favorite movie trailers.
Oh, movie trailers?
I don't know.
That's what we had the people comment on.
Man, it's really hard to think of a favorite. I mean. Definitely, that first Force Awakens trailer was quite good. That was magical.
And I'm literally not sure we'll see that kind of reaction. There's going to be a Star Wars trailer every 3 months from here on out.
You know what? Actually, the one trailer that got me the most hyped, I think, ever was probably. Obviously, I love the first Spider-Man Tobey Maguire film, and this was. I was reading Ain't It Cool News, but I still didn't know when every trailer was going to happen, and this was before every trailer just got put on YouTube first.
Yeah.
I go to the theater for some 2003 film, I forget which, and then the trailer at the start is the first trailer for Spider-Man 2, which is just the lengthy scene of Peter Parker and Mary Jane at the coffee shop that then ends with the tire crashing through, and it's just like, it was such a novel thing at the time to have just this trailer is mostly a lengthy scene from the movie that also doesn't even have Spider-Man in it. And then when he dodges the tire, and then you see fucking Doc Octopus, I was like, this is awesome. Spider-Man 2 is going to be the greatest movie ever. I love it.
And you were right. Unless Homecoming changes that, it is the best one.
I think my favorite, this is dipping back like 17 years, 18 years. It's the Austin Powers Spy Who Shagged Me fake out trailer.
I know what you're talking
that
about.
Makes you think it's episode 1, and they're like, you should see Star Wars, but also see this. But it's
Dr. Evil turning around in a chair, right?
But actually, in retrospect, they were wrong. Don't see episode 1. Just see Austin Powers 2 twice, even though it's not as good as 1.
That kind of reminds me of the South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. That first trailer where it's just like
you think it's making a Pixar character.
Yeah, and it's just Eric Cartman and sings like some stupid song.
No, he does the Lederhosen dance, which is like a very old reference on South Park.
Out my DVD copy of South Park to put on this.
Because there was the only
I guess.
I mean, yesterday you were like, do we have anything Ubisoft? I'm like, absolutely not, but there's a South Park thing around.
Is that the snapper case?
Swatted to the ground. It is, but it's like, it's the movie, and I looked at this, and like, on the back, there's not a single special feature.
I mean,
remember when Trey Parker and Matt Stone would do fucking intro? No, they would do intros on a South Park disc of 4 episodes. They would be like, "Hello, welcome, cowboys." They'd fire a gun and like recoil at it. It was awesome.
But they never wanted to do commentaries. Like they'd always do commentary for the first 2 minutes of every episode, and then be like, "All right, let's move on."
Yeah, and I think they said in an interview that like there are no deleted scenes because everything we did is in the movie. But there's nothing. The South Park DVD for the movie has nothing.
You get animated menus, Chris. Come on.
There's 3 trailers. That's all there is.
One of them is that one.
But Dave and I chimed in last week, but we have some. Which one is this?
That's just a separate thing. And we, since we talked about farts, there's a John Cena inspirational speech just came up this week about farts.
We've all lived. Sometimes in life, the human body does uncomfortable and embarrassing things. Flatulence. We all know them. We very rarely talk about them at parties. But man, we've all had to deal with that situation where there's a cauldron brewing down below, but you're sitting at a table for 20, most of them dignitaries, everybody in a neatly pressed suit and exotic clothes, and you're looking around going, man, I just can't fart here. It's not the time for it. But you feel...
actually, him and... Nikki Bella did a fart joke a few months ago where Nikki Bella on the Bella's channel on the Bella's YouTube channel, she said she'd get naked if they hit 100,000 subscribers or whatever. And of course it was naked with digital stuff over them, but it really did look like it was her and John Cena, and I was like, I think you both were naked for this. And then it ends with a joke of John Cena bending over to pick up his robe and then farting on her. And then he says, I didn't fart.
I feel like John Cena's powerful enough he could destroy a fart within his own body, just like by clenching enough. Just destroy the atom.
I mean, master things you can't see.
His ass muscles must be able to hold in a fart.
And I would think Vince McMahon would just I know he loves farts on television, but he probably hates farts in reality because he hates when people sneeze around him.
That is true.
Because he thinks it's the human body being weak.
But Samael said, I watched the Mad Max Fury Road teaser trailer about a dozen times when it came out. The building operatic swell at the 46 mark, which ends with the silent scream of Furiosa. I was on board at that moment. That is one of the most important trailers ever, I think, because there's not a lot of ways you can surprise us. That I don't think Mad Max had the cachet of this is a sequel to an existing property. This is the reintroduction of a property.
I mean, the Thunderdome was on a good note to go out on.
Oh, it's the worst.
No one even remembered Mad Max.
It's the worst, but this.
Out here, everything hurts. You want to get through this? Do as I say. Now pick up what you can and run.
Oh. I'm getting goosebumps just watching. God damn it! The movie's
I had such
great.
a good time watching this movie. I bought it on Blu-ray. I'm afraid to watch it again.
Yeah,
that first time was so perfect that I don't want to ruin it for myself.
That and because I felt that way about Pacific Rim because I was giddy because I didn't expect. I had no expectations for Pacific Rim.
I've seen Mad Max twice now, and it's great. Still very good. And I left that theater jumping up and down this is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
This is great. Russell Gomer says one of my earliest memories is the trailer for Child's Play 2. It scared the Jeebus out of me. Chucky looks right in the camera at the end and says, "Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back." I totally remember this. I was only 4 or 5, so I certainly don't care for dolls these days. Jack in the Box, all alone, no humans.
It's a great soft 80s shot.
Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
Those movies, in hindsight, they're like some of the most high-budget practical effects horror movies that exist.
I can't believe I was afraid of them. They're so stupid.
No, there's nothing to be afraid of.
There's a little bit of dissonance there because I was watching that trailer when putting it in this document, and I was like, well, he's going to come in, he's going to cut the Jack in the Box's head off, because that was on the movie poster, which had the same exact tagline.
Sorry, Jack, Chucky's back.
Yeah.
Well, it was also a good visual thing because you're waiting for Jack to pop up, instead a foot comes down on it. It's good cinematography.
And I'll agree with Ian Richmond on this. I love the Man of Steel trailer, specifically the part at 135 to 210. The visual of Superman stepping out into the sun, the voiceover from his father, and the wonderful music building until he takes off into the sky. It's the perfect package, and it still gives me goosebumps.
I agree. I wish that movie existed.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time,
they will
join you in the sun. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
What I loved in this was seeing when you watch it, the way the other rings go around him as he's flying up.
I know it's Henry's favorite movie.
I still have that for the Superman Returns trailer, which I watched over and over again, and bookending the show, I was initially obsessed with the Richard Donner Superman, and that the Superman Returns trailer, the Bryan Singer one, had Marlon Brando's narration.
You may not remember me.
They're great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. Yes. And I fucking love that trailer.
Yeah.
Man, but that movie sucked too.
Yep.
Luke said my favorite trailer ever is probably the Black Dynamite trailer. It came out during my junior year of high school, and it looked like the raddest movie of all time. It is, Luke. And I've watched it at least once a week, probably more until it came out on DVD, which wasn't until the spring semester of my senior year. I was so psyched for that movie that I even bought an official shirt from the Black Dynamite website that I wore all the time, long before the movie came out. I'm sure there will never be a trailer I will watch more than the Black Dynamite trailer.
It's good.
He killed my best dealer, and I want him dead now!
So if you crave satisfaction, then dig this action. Guaranteed to put your ass in traction.
This is one of the best suggestions the community's made for a Monday Night Movie, by the way, because you had never seen it, Dave?
No.
Brett had never seen it, and I'd only seen it once a long time ago. It was so funny to revisit. I'm hoping because you guys demanded Spaceballs.
Yeah. Well, but Michael Jai White, the original Spawn, he was I had no clue he could be funny.
Yeah.
And he was really funny.
Really good. Adam Hackworth said, my favorite trailer lately has been the second teaser for the Star Wars Force Awakens. Well, the first teaser you got excited. This one just turned that excitement up to 11. I remember standing in line at the Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, watching this one on someone's cell phone. Everyone was so pumped, especially for this part. Oh, yeah.
Chewie. We're home.
Oh, that still gives me goosebumps.
For about 30 more minutes.
All my favorites are here.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. I mean, the point of that trailer was in the first teaser you didn't see any of the original actors, and so then in that teaser you don't either until
that moment, the very last moment of the trailer.
And they're just like, here's Han Solo. You have not seen Han Solo in more than 30 years.
This is good because I had not seen this. I may have seen this. J.C. Foster said, to this day, my favorite trailer is still the teaser for Terminator 2. It was mind-blowing to see this back in the day. It's just so damn creepy and ominous. The best part is right at the end where you hear the clank clank of the movie logo, and then it goes dead silent, and you hear this, and it still gives me goosebumps.
Yes.
I'll be back.
That was going to be my second choice before I thought of the Austin Powers one.
My dad had to show. It was like one of the first rated R movies. My dad made it a point to show me. He showed me Terminator so he could take me to see Terminator 2. Wow. And he wasn't a huge dude on action. He just loved that fucking movie.
Well, and that's something cool that they don't do in trailers anymore. That was an original shot of Arnie that isn't in the film. that they just filmed a new thing for it.
Yeah,
we'll show you another one in this week's 30-2010.
They can't even get original shots of actors and actresses to be in posters anymore. They're the worst Photoshop garbage in the world.
I don't know what that is, man. That's okay. Batman Boy, guess what he said? Despite mixed results of the movie itself, the trailers for The Dark Knight Rises were great. Particularly this one. The music still gives me chills.
You don't owe these people anymore. You've given them everything.
Not everything. Not yet.
It's making it clear he hasn't died for them yet.
I thought he was talking about the que pasa.
Though, like, just after, if we knew what would be like proceeding in the next like 6 or 7 years of DC movies, like that's a breath of fresh air. Like I would kind of Dark Knight Rises.
Well, I watched it after I saw Man of Steel.
Yeah,
and like this is Dark Knight Rises is fucking amazing compared to Man of Steel.
If anything, it's just like Heath Ledger dying. Like, the movie probably would have been way better with Joker.
Joker almost certainly would have been in the third movie if Heath Ledger had not passed away.
And lastly, Silek Rule says, I'm going to go for something a bit older before we knew how terrible the movie would be. The B trailer for X-Men The Last Stand was actually really well put together, with the last 34 seconds of it showing a lot of action, with Jean proclaiming, "Please kill me," as Dark Phoenix was on the way, and I was hella excited. Imagine my disappointment.
Yeah, I think I remember this.
I don't.
They wish to cure us. And I say we are the cure.
Yeah, you get so many action shots.
We can help you. We can fix it. We can make it like it was. Stay with me, please.
Much better editing than was in the film, that's for sure. Yeah, it's
true.
It was a great lie of a trailer, though it showed me just now a shot that I forgot angered me in the film, which was they get the mutant who can cure mutantism. And then when Beast finds out about it, he reaches toward them and his hand turns unblue, and then he pulls his hand back. I was like, okay, look. I'll get that his skin pigment would turn back to blue once it was away from that field, but his hair doesn't grow back. That's not, no. It would take time for his hair to grow back, and that really annoyed me. Also, that they just like, I feel like they only cured Mystique in that movie, so they would have to see, they were like, well, Rebecca, you got in naked for this scene, sorry. All right,
guys. We have another. Do we have a new question of the week?
Well, I guess since it's episode 100, we've kind of asked this once or twice before, and in the past it was for like our episodes where we do best of bonus time. We might do one of those future, but I just want to know what your favorite memory of the first 100 episodes of bonus time was.
Yeah, and then if you feel like leaving any feedback of stuff you'd like to hear us do more on this show, it's weird that it's behind an age gate, but you know, it's your feedback is awesome. The feedback on the Facebook community is awesome. People are clearly listening, and that's really, really fun. And thank you again for patrons to support us. That we do not have to deal with Bob and Henry horror stories because of the luxury you provided us with.
I've already sold all of my blood. I need more blood now. Please send me your blood.
It will become more important as the world moves forward to support content creators. Otherwise, you just have 1,100 teenage YouTubers commenting on all the things you've already seen. Thank you guys so much for listening. We're bonus time. Let's go out with some Californication.
Friday.
It's understood that Hollywood sells Californication. Hey, Sergeant Barrow, while to break the spell of aging. Celebrity skin, is this your gender? Is that warrior?